Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, January 7th. On this date in 1949, Salvador Guerrero III was born. The former WWE Cruiserweight Champion known as Chavo Guerrero Sr. and Chavo Classic turns 63 today. On this date in 2001, ECW held its Guilty as Charged pay-per-view. In the main event, Rob Van Dam defeated Jerry Lynn. On this date in 1971, Chris Wright was born. The former ECW and WWE superstar known as C.W. Anderson turns 41 today. On this date in 2007, WWE held its New Year's Revolution pay-per-view. In the main event, John Cena defeated Umaga to retain the WWE Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, January 7th. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Ferran Derry here with you, talking all stuff going on wrestling over the course of the last 3 weeks, and there's certainly been a pretty good amount of it. Some interesting tidbits from the Today in Wrestling History thing. Chavo Guerrero Sr., the oldest WWE Cruiserweight Champion. He won it briefly a few years back during his Chavo Classic stint, for lack of a better term. And, I don't know, kind of an interesting bit there. C.W. Anderson didn't really get a whole heck of a lot of a push, probably because of how plain he was. I know they tried to compare him to, like, Arn and some of the other Andersons of the 70s and 80s, and, I don't know, it didn't exactly work in the 90s and early part of 2000, 2001. And how about Umaga? It's amazing to think that was 5 years ago, and only a couple of years after that, Umaga turns out that he left us. Interesting stuff there, and glad to see that I got a bit of a reaction on that lottery commercial from Wild Bill Melody. Likes a little bit of that bluegrass in the background there. I think you might know where that might sound familiar, at least longtime fans of the Godwins. Not that gave it away or anything. I just got an interesting story from my buddy John in Levittown. He's a bit of a video gamer, and apparently, now I'll admit that my video game knowledge is kind of it went away with Nintendo 64. I haven't followed a whole lot of the current stuff, but this is apparently one of those online computer games, Skyrim. Apparently, somebody found a way to modify the game that instead of a fire-breathing dragon, they have replaced it with Randy Macho Man Savage. According to the story here, I believe the famous professional wrestler given name Randall Mario Poffo once said, "The same fire the dragon breathes, he shall burn by." True words, brother, but we're going to see a lot of the former, not so much of the latter, in this video of the opening sequence in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, where a modder, which I'm guessing is somebody who can change the graphics and whatnot, replaces the dragon with Randy Macho Man Savage. The thing seems like a clever sound file mod, still a very good one if that's all it was, for about 40 seconds. Then I promise you're going to, let me edit this quickly, laugh extremely hard. Bravo to the creator. Apparently you can look it up on YouTube, and should be rather interesting. I haven't had the chance to check it out because it just, the story came to me over the course of the break, so I haven't had the chance to give it a look. But if it's doing all right, I'll put it up on the Facebook fan page. Should be something interesting, to say the least. Couple of other stories and tidbits and things here. The writer of the Benoit family tragedy film Crossface told the Worst Previews website that there will be WWE wrestlers portrayed in it. Eddie Guerrero is obviously very important to the story. Triple H, Kurt Angle, they're all there, but it's early and things can still change. The creator of the movie also stated that she plans to explore some of the conspiracy theories regarding the Benoit tragedy. Quote, "There are a lot of unknowns about that weekend when the murders and suicide took place, which is probably why so many people have tried to fill in the blanks with conspiracy theories. Chris Benoit was behind the murders, but we still wanted to touch on several of those theories." And of course, this is all based on the book Ring of Hell the Chris Benoit story. That's where the movie is being made from. And also the Royal Rumble weekend party that was scheduled to be hosted by Shawn X-Pac Waltman, well, that's been canceled. Waltman will instead join Billy Gunn at the after-party event that's going to be held in an Irish pub in St. Louis. I don't know if the unforeseen circumstances had to do with Waltman's arrest on December 21st, charges of possession of hydrocodone, hydromorphone, and possession of drug paraphernalia. But Waltman addressed the recent arrest on Twitter. He said, quote, "I learned the other day that I had a warrant over something that happened months ago. I was never in jail. I did get my pic taken and printed. I want to elaborate more, but I should talk to my lawyer about what I can say." Responsible of X-Pac, even though I know he's had brushes with trouble in the past, and well, it's always been interesting, to say the least. Let's go ahead and get to the phone. Steve has been waiting patiently, at least for the last minute or two. Steve, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Happy New Year, Brian.
Happy New Year. Thought it was going to be a caller-free show for a second here.
Sometimes you got to talk to somebody.
This is true. I hate rambling incessantly for what feels like an hour. Nobody should be put through that. So thank you for helping the listeners out.
Well, the thing that's puzzling me is it's Twitter that's going to make WrestleMania look good. I mean, you got to get Shaq against Big Show and Ultimate Warrior against Kevin Nash. What's next? Undertaker against Sting? Nobody shows up.
Well, didn't we go down that road this time last year? Yeah.
Yeah. And is Undertaker
speculation
even going to be at WrestleMania?
I would imagine so. I just they were trying to kind of throw that red herring out there with the dark videos, the end of the world as you know it.
Is that how Chris Jericho is going to go out? He's going to be the guy that takes out Undertaker. Is this already in the works?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. If the Undertaker were to lose that way, I mean, what would Jericho gain from it? I mean, it would.
Well, that would. If you remember your WrestleMania, whoever gets the big win is your champ for the rest of the year. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants to unify the titles. Maybe he wants to go out the right way. Maybe Chris wants to take out Triple H, CM Punk, John Cena, The Rock, and say, you know what? It's good to be back. Now I can quit, and I beat the best on my terms.
True. I mean, he's done a lot of things on his terms, and I mean,
You know what McMahon will do? He'll bring somebody to take Jericho out, though, just before he thinks it's all set and done. He's the ultimate double-crosser.
Maybe that's where we see a return of Batista or something like that.
No, somebody like his second best friend in the company, Shawn Michaels. No, I want to come back for one match. I'm going to end Jericho's title reign, and then his thing doesn't look so bad, so blighted.
Well, I don't know. Shawn seems to have he has a pretty good thing going with that hunting show of his down in Texas there.
But
for was it the Outdoor Life Network or something like that? I'm
gonna say. So is Chris or not Chris? Is Kurt Angle? Is he going to save the other company, or is he going to be the guy that finishes it?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say whether he'll be a major player, considering that he's trying to divide his time between TNA and he's still talking about training for the Olympics. That apparently is still going on.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction, not this WrestleMania, but next WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 29?
Yeah. The headliner will be Brock Lesnar. No doubt in my mind. Because I don't care if he's only 28. That guy is the biggest money grubber I ever seen in my life. He took Vince for 10. I guess he figures maybe he can take him for some more.
Well, I think he's got to be in his 30s at this point. I don't think he's definitely past the 30 mark.
Right. But you figure he's got at least one WrestleMania left in him. He said he's going to take, 6 months off to get his ribs healed. That means back into the weight room, start working out again. Yeah, I think the timetable's perfect for next year's WrestleMania. And he can probably pick anybody he wants on the roster to take out.
Well, that's going to be a subject of a lot of speculation, over the course of months, unless there's some sort of confirmation one way or the other.
I'll give you a name you would never expect him to pick. Vince, he'll be in a signing room. Vince is all happy he's back. Now, who do you want to wrestle? Who do you want to take out in WrestleMania? He says, how about giving that other guy that you threw out of here a couple of years ago a shot? I'll take out Batista for you, once and for all.
Brock Lesnar against Batista.
These are guys that never met. Never met. When Brock was there the first time around. You always want to put him against somebody he never met before. Because he wrestled everybody when he was there.
True, and pretty much dominated. But yeah, you're right. They were different eras. I mean, Lesnar was 02 to 04, and Batista didn't come in until late 04, 05 after Brock was already gone, and by that point trying to make it onto the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, so he takes out Batista, and it's easy to take out a guy that hasn't been in the business for a couple of years. That's what you know as your squash match. And then he's got Vince says, well, you got to do a couple house shows, and you got to do a couple more pay-per-views. Then we'll see if you get the title shot.
Well, I think
Vince never gives anybody. No, if you ever notice when they come back, they never get title shots right away, and if they do, they're on Vince's terms.
This is I have seen that, but in the case of Brock, I mean, the reason he left was because of the travel schedule. So if anything, he's going to do just WrestleMania, and that's it. If he even does that.
And that's one.
So he's not going to do any house shows, or he's not going to do any extra traveling. I mean, that was what kind of jaded him from the business in the first place.
Well, he walked away with a sizable check. I know that because he sued Vince for a couple other things. He walked away with a lot of money. I'm just surprised that he went into that martial arts program afterwards. It didn't make any sense. He could have sat back and not worked for 3 years, easy.
Well, he wanted to try different things. I mean, I guess that was kind of a plan C after the football thing didn't pan out.
And speaking of MMA guys that didn't make it, where's Bobby Lashley? Is he another whatever happened to guy?
Well, he's still doing. I mean, he's not doing any UFC stuff, but from what I remember, he's in one of the other. I forget which organization it is. I'll get it for you in a quick sec. Because
I mean, you see him coming back next year. Once these guys leave, does Vince let the MMA guys back? Guys that left them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Lashley's biggest accomplishment in the WWE was the WWE CW champion, and that has since been defunct. So it's. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of interest there necessarily is there. I mean, he's still got it going on. I think he's with he was with Strike Force for a little bit, and I think he's now with Shark Fights. That's what it is. I knew it was one of those. Just took me a sec to dig it up, but yeah, he has a 3-year deal with Shark Fights, so he's still doing the MMA stuff.
Well, be interested. WrestleMania is how far away now?
April 1st, so we're a little less than 3 months away.
And we still haven't heard any of the Undertaker music yet, have we?
No, probably won't see it until after Elimination Chamber. That'd be my guess. So probably end of February, beginning of March, and that way you got a 5-6 week build to WrestleMania.
I can't wait, man. I need that music. It's like a fever to me.
You need that bell toll. I hear you.
Yes, I need the fever back in me. I've lost interest in the business.
Well, hey, if one bell toll will do it.
That'll do it, man.
More power to you. All right, thanks for the call, Steve. I got to roll.
Take care, buddy.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back next week with a review of TNA Genesis and further developments in the WWE as far as the Royal Rumble. Stay tuned. Bill Melody, he's got the Country Music Hall up next for you here on 1490 WBCB.
1490 WBCB, Levittown, Fairless Hills, Trenton.